After days of people asking me, "What's up with Atraxa? Have you seen this Atraxa card? Have you played it? Have you played this Reanimator deck? Have you played the 5-color domain Atraxa mid-range control? I don't know, aggro. I have no idea." But yeah, I finally decided to play the card in a few decks, and I can say I'm pretty sure this deck is tier 1 and is actually insane. Yeah, I finally got to it yesterday on stream. I played like 5 matches, won them all. The deck feels extremely solid, but yeah, let's take a look. Well, here's the deck. So, a little bit of history here. I tried the Reanimator version, the what is it called? The Invoke, the White Invoke Boros deck, and my conclusion is that deck is not good enough. It's not consistent enough. Relying on the graveyard is not great. The overall deck doesn't really work unless you find Invoke. So all those problems combined just created a very inconsistent and underwhelming experience. And that wasn't the first deck I tried. The first deck I tried was a domain version, and that deck felt like it needed a lot of tuning, and I think I finally kind of nailed my vision here. And it was to go with Mardu as the baseline. Because in Mardu, you have access to, obviously the white is the most important, right? Because you have Leyline Binding, you can have access to Farewell, you can have access to like the White Sun, the Wandering Emperor. A lot of white spells are very impactful in this metagame to like interact with different types of permanents. They also have different types of permanents themselves with the Wandering Emperor, the Eternal Wanderer, the Loran, and that gives you very good mid game, early game, and late game power. So they're always relevant cards, yeah, no matter the situation. So that's where the white comes in. Obviously, we want the red. Red is like the crux of the Atraxa deck. It's definitely the core, the foundation, the Fable, and the Big Score. These cards either Fable, potentially giving you treasure, but that's not the most important part. The most important card is the looting, where you can refresh your hand, try to find your answers in time, basically, because obviously you're gonna have less answers since this deck relies on the top end being Atraxa and a card that you need to get to cast. But to get there, you're either gonna have to kind of weather the storm of your opponent's aggression if they are aggressive. And in the case of them not being aggressive, you're gonna have a very good matchup. That's why this deck is so good, because it's very good against mono white, for example. So the red, with especially Big Score. Big Score is absolutely crazy. 4 mana, instant. Discard a card, draw 2 cards, and create 2 treasures. So you can go on turn 4, Big Score, hit an untapped land, Atraxa the next turn. Turn 5 Atraxa, it's kind of like the Reanimator deck, except you don't have to reanimate, it's just better. You can also cast White Sun, so you have other 7 drops to cast. You can also cast Blade Coil Serpent, which was a late addition to the deck and has been incredible. Absolutely amazing card. I don't know, just this deck has a lot of things going for it, and the red is definitely a core part of that. Moving on, we have the black, which is the last color. So essentially, this is mostly like a Boros deck, but also the drag costs 2 black, so we kind of have to say this is a Mardu deck, right? And the drag to the bottom is a domain sweeper. Each creature gets minus X until end of turn, where X is 1 plus the number of basic land types among lands you control. So this can sweep for -6/-6 if you have the full color combination from your triomes. So that's it. That's the drag. And also the black is very important for the sideboard with duress, which is going to allow you to remove key cards from your opponent's hand that can disrupt your game plan or progress their game plan. So that's very important. That's where the black comes in. Then obviously we have the card itself, Atraxa Grand Unifier, 7 mana, so 3 green, white, blue, black, 7 mana total. Legendary creature, 7/7. It's got every keyword and has like every keyword that you could possibly want. Flying, Vigilance, Death Touch, Lifelink. Incredible attacker, incredible blocker, Death Touch, whatever, but it's on there for lore purposes, I guess. And when Atraxa enters the battlefield, reveal the top 10 cards of your library, and for each card type, you may put a card of that type from among the revealed cards into your hand. Little stumble on the read there. But yeah, basically, look at top 10, grab one of each card type that you want. 1 land, 1 artifact, 1 enchantment, 1 instant, 1 sorcery, 1 planeswalker, 1 creature, and I think that's it. So yeah, you can essentially, if you, whatever's on top, whatever the top 10 cards on top are, you can grab one of each. One of each type. And that is insane. This control 5. On average, I would say it draws you 3, which is already insane on top of the body. But the upper limit is insane. Like finding 5 spells, 5 relevant spells that you pick too, is very, very insane. Like for instance, we got Big Score and Destroy Evil. So if you need more card advantage, cards filtering, you can grab that. If you need more interaction, you grab the Destroy. For sorcery, you have your choice of sweepers. Either if you think your opponent's not going to destroy Atraxa, you can grab the Drag so it lives. You can grab the White Sun if you're a little bit behind. And you can grab the Farewell if you're very far behind. On board specifically, not on, if you're behind on life, you would grab this. Then you have enchantments, Leyline Binding, which is a flash domain enchantment that costs 1 less for each basic land type. What is it? What does it read? Yeah, basic land type among lands you control. That's I never actually read domain, I just know what it does. So yeah, only the triumphs. So it depends on what colors you have from the triumphs, like island, swamp, mountain, like however many land types you have, that will be how much less this costs. So this can go down to 1 mana, 1 white. 1 white flash, exile anything until it leaves the battlefield. So you can grab interaction, or you can grab Fable that will allow you to filter cards, gain some more board presence, you know. So you have your options there. So it's very good that you have like multiple options between permanent types, between card types, I mean. And then obviously for creatures, you can grab another Atraxa. You can grab Blade Coil Serpent, and you can grab the Loran, which has been very good in this deck. And for artifacts, you can also grab Blade Coil. So that means you can grab an Atraxa and a Blade Coil in the same, you know, active in the same how do I say this? Like not activation, but triggered ability. Like this, you can use the card type artifact to grab the Blade Coil. It doesn't have to be the card type creature. So you can grab a creature and then an artifact. But for artifacts in general, we have the Blade Coil and we have 2 Bankbusters. Planeswalkers, we've got Wandering Emperor and we've got Eternal Wanderer. Both have been fantastic. I'm very happy with this Eternal Wanderer. I know some people don't like the card or whatever, but I think this fits quite well into the game plan, into the what the deck wants to be doing. Its interaction, its potential board presence. It can flicker your Atraxa if you want more cards, which you probably don't at that point, but if you ever end up in a situation where you would want that, then you can, of course, do it. You can flicker your Bankbuster to reset the charges on it. I don't know. There's a lot to do with the Wanderer, but the fact that it also has the -4, where you can choose an opposing creature and choose one of your creatures, you both keep that creature and the rest die. The rest gets swept. Each player sacrifices the rest. So you get to choose for them. So you can pick their 1/1, everything else leaves, and you get to keep your Atraxa potentially. So that's very good. The sideboard is a bit of a work in progress. Most of it's very good. Most of it I'm very happy with. The one thing I'm not sure of is the 3 Strangle, which is mostly there for Thalia, but I have not really faced Thalia, so I'm not sure if that's necessary to have 3, especially on top of Light Up. But yeah, I don't know. One of these Strangles could potentially be Brotherhood's End. That's what I'm thinking right now, and I think that's probably correct. And then the last card that I'm not sure about is Cruelty of Gix. I just feel like you don't need this card. Like, it's really good in this deck. It's very, very strong. Target opponent reveals their hand. You get to choose creature or planeswalker. They discard that. Search your library for a card. So it's a tutor. And put a creature from a graveyard onto the battlefield. I mean, you can get Atraxa back, but I've never really found a situation where I actually needed this effect. Usually I just cast Atraxa and that's it. Like, I don't need to get another one on top of that. But I'm sure there are matchups where you might want this, but I think it could also just be a burn down the house. Essentially, what I've realized with this deck is that it does require something that can sweep planeswalkers, I think. I think you want a card that can fully reset planeswalkers, and that would be burn down the house. So I'm really thinking about that. Well, we'll figure it out. I'm gonna keep iterating on this deck, but for now, the rest of the sideboard I think is really, really good. You got the 3 duress, you got the negate for interaction, so those are your spell interaction cards. 2 more Bankbusters for card draw matchups. Another 2 Loran, which has been fantastic by the way, and the card is just nuts. Like, I don't know what to say about Loran. Every day it gets better. I feel like every day Loran just gets better for some reason, even though it probably doesn't. It just feels like the card is so impactful in this metagame. Shieldred's Edict, which has actually been incredible. Another way to deal with planeswalkers, which I think this deck desperately needs in some situations. 2 Hearse for graveyard strats, and that's about it really. I've been loving this deck. and I recommend this version. I've not tried every version, but I have, between the 3 versions that I've tried, this has definitely been the best, and it's not even close, because this deck functions as a deck with Atraxa and not an Atraxa deck, if you know what I mean. Like, this deck works even without Atraxa, and that's its selling point. And that's usually the type of deck that I try to build, is a deck that does not rely on certain things happening to win the game. And I think this is that deck. Now, of course, Atraxa helps you a lot and does give you some free wins, but you can still win the game with White Sun's Twilight. Like, the card is just insane. You can win the game with Blade Coil Serpent. You can win the game with Eternal Wander. You can win the game by just drawing a bunch of cards with Bankbuster, removing stuff, playing Wandering Emperor. Like, Mirax can win the game. It's just the cherry on top, and that's really good with this deck. I actually really don't like decks that rely on specific things happening to win the game. I call them gimmicky decks, or gimmick decks in general. I don't really like that. I like to have a game plan that works consistently, and then if a card like Atraxa fits in there, then that's good. I will tailor it a little bit towards Atraxa, but it's not going to be an Atraxa deck, I think. That's the key point. Anyways, I will leave you with that, and I hope you enjoy the matches. Alright, we're on the draw. That's okay. That is a-okay. This deck doesn't mind being on the draw, but it really depends how fast they go, of course. This hand is fine. Needs a little bit of help, but any top decks would be welcome with this hand. Yeah, we do have the full domain combination here. Ooh. Well, that's a little bit scary. I'm gonna end up playing, I think, red, because I have Light Up the Night. Ooh, I might lose to this. This looks like an equipment deck. I have a fear this goes a little bit too fast for me being on the draw, but we'll see. Oh my god, turn 2 Fable. Holy moly. Okay. Well, what's better than being on the play with the turn 3 Fable? Being on the play with the turn 2 Fable. That's gonna be something else, but yeah, thankfully I drew an untapped land, so we can at least curve out 3 and 4 and hopefully draw something. I don't know, I need like a sweeper. Something along those lines. A little bit scared of what's gonna happen to me here with this whole goblin token running around. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I believe that's a better play than Loran, because it will let me get rid of these two, which I think I cannot use in this position. That's pretty key. Okay, no Wandering Emperor. Very good. This could also just be Reanimator, and that would be okay. Except I'm on the draw, so it's still a bad situation. Well, hopefully this is not Reanimator, but it's looking more and more like that. They're really playing slow. They only have planes. Yeah, this is looking like Reanimator. Might be a problem. I could definitely see this being a problem. But what can I do? Not much, really. In game 1, you're mostly at the mercy of your opponent's deck if you're on the draw. I mean, of course, we have a few sweepers. We've got some Wandering Emperor. We've got some Loran action. But if you don't find those cards, mostly the sweeper, I would say. Okay, so this is actually an equipment deck. Okay. So yeah, I need the sweeper against this, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to find it. At the very least... Oh, this is interesting. So they're going to haste their Fable by using the red from the treasure, which is interesting. Copying the token. Okay, alright. Attacking with the token only. Alright, very interesting. And then they're going to play a 3-drop? No. Okay. Well, get rid of these. Actually, I can probably get rid of a land here and hold on to one of these. Now the question is which one. Okay, so I might be able to play Atraxa next turn, and I think that would win me the game. So let's go with this. I mean, I could also Serpent next turn, but I feel like I'm going to be too far behind. I'm going to need a Wandering Emperor. I'd rather have a Lifelinker on blocks than a Serpent here, even though it will discard everything. Uh-oh. That is not good. obviously. But if they don't block, I will be able to slam this next turn. And I'm also going to be able to destroy the reflection with the Loran main deck, which is quite important. Now, the problem is they can hasten something else, which would be a little bit dangerous. There's a Mondrak. Okay, that's kind of scary. But, not the worst. So they're just going to be making a bunch of tokens. So 2 treasures instead of 1. That's why they kept a goblin, I'm assuming. But this time, I get the Atraxa. And I'll get another blocker. So that's the power of Fable right there. And we can deal with Mondrak with the Wandering Emperor the next turn. Hopefully. If I'm not dead. Which I may very well be. I don't know what kind of interaction they have. I'm scared that they're playing like Fateful Absence in a deck like that looks pretty fast. It is a bit scary to me. But hopefully not. Okay. The good news is they did not decide to haste the Mondrak, which means I save myself some life. It's probably more important than them getting the treasure here. Don't really care about them ramping. I wonder if I just don't play Atraxa here and I set up Fable into Wandering Emperor. In case Atraxa dies. Something to consider, I feel. Playing Atraxa, I'd get removed, I chump block, I remove the next turn. Actually, I should just play it, whatever. I still have chump blockers for this and potentially a block on this. And they can potentially just lose the game on this turn. Okay. So farewell, yes. In terms of land, we have untapped mana already, so I'll just grab probably this land to give me a red again. Oh my god. Oh, jackpot. that is what I like to see. That is what I like to see. Okay. It's looking pretty good. I think we can ditch a card like Bankbuster in this scenario. I mean, I guess it fits into the curve with the 4 and the 2. Maybe I don't do that. Instead, I'll just ditch the lounge. Oh, I need to discard 2 cards. Okay. So we probably ditch, honestly, the second Fable is not looking like it's going to do much. Do I have mana to cast this? We've got a green, we've got a blue, we've got red, black, white, so we're good. So I don't need the Xander's Lounge, so yeah, I think we do this. And if they somehow do not have a way to deal with this, then I guess we just win, right? I'm a little bit scared of this battery hasting something too dangerous. I don't know what that card would be though, so it's probably fine. Afraid. Afraid that's fine. Burn down, bunch of 1/1s. That's a little scary. But if they don't, okay, if they don't have any way of removing this, that's okay. But if they do, then I won't get the life off. That could be a problem in this scenario. That's actually one of the ways I could lose, is something that deals direct damage to my face in some way. As in, I won't be able to block them, and then I can never block them. That's a little bit scary. Alright, so let's just go for this, I think. Probably the best course of action. Hopefully. Can gain some life next turn as well. Alright, very good. Back up. Now they can sack every devil to deal with Atraxa, but I'm not really sure that that's going to win them the game. But they can do that by paying a bunch of HP. They would have to pay 5, I think. No, 5 times 2, 10. They would have to pay 10. 10 go to 2, and then I win off the backswing. Well, I'm not exactly sure what they're trying to do with this deck, but it's definitely trying to use the rabbit battery to haste something that makes tokens, like at lane. Or even haste the Mondrak itself. I don't know. It's kind of interesting, but does feel a little bit clunky. I mean, I was playing Mondrak yesterday, for the Patreon, and let's just say I lost a bunch of ranks. So yeah, I'm not really sure Standard is the place for a Mondrak strategy. Just because we have a lot of good 4-drops. We have a lot of already good 4-drops. And going wide is not necessarily a strategy that's very rewarded in Standard right now with cards like this. And cards like Depop. Now the Atraxa decks are running, domain sweepers. Yeah, going wide is not necessarily that good, especially if it relies on a 4/4. On a 4/4 that basically has no keywords other than indestructible if you pay some mana, which in Standard indestructible is not even like that relevant really. We have a lot of access to exile. Like, it's too late in a format for a card like this to be as impactful as it would be in an earlier stage, with less sets out, I think. Like, if there's less answers to going wide and less answers to indestructible overall, then that makes it a lot better. Oh yeah, they had to do. Okay, well, anyways, they're dead, so will not be missing lethal this turn. Okay. Surprising. I was on the draw. Fable turn 2, and thankfully their deck did not do enough to bring them victory there. But that was definitely a scary situation to be facing a turn 2 Fable with the deck like this, with low amounts of main deck interaction. A little bit scary. But we got there. Now I will most likely just be removing a bunch of stuff, cutting the fat, just playing like a control style gameplay. I mean, obviously Farewell does sound like it's gonna be good, right? Like, I should probably not cut that. White Sun's Twilight also sounds like it could be good, but I fear it's a little bit slow on the draw. I don't really want to play too many. Obviously we've got a lot of spot removal. I don't think we need that many strangles. Like, sure, yeah, the rest is fine, right? Like, the lifelink's gonna be good. I don't think I need counter magic. Got Leyline Binding, which I think is going to be good, but it could also be terrible against a white deck, so I have to be careful about that. I might find myself losing the game to them Loraning stuff, but I kind of have to play Interaction like a Leyline Binding in this matchup. It's because I have to catch like the wedding announcements. I might have to catch like the Mondrak, so I need Exile. I don't know what else they're playing, like Planeswalkers maybe, who knows. It's too difficult to say, so might as well keep them in. And we do have a pretty bad hand here. Double Atraxa is not good. Leyline Binding on 2 is good, but we don't even have mana to cast the Wandering Emperor, so this is a mulligan. Okay, this is actually a good hand. I thought it was bad, and then if you look a little closer, it is actually not bad. I wonder... Yeah, this Atraxa probably has to go. I most likely just need... Yeah, most likely just try to find a different one by looting away spells that I don't need. At least we'll have a 1-mana Leyline Binding here. I do need to guarantee that I have a turn 3 play, so that's why I had to keep the Fable, and the big square allows me to cast Atraxa, so I can't really put it to the bottom and keep Atraxa. Okay, I was not really expecting that. Uh-huh. Well, I'm just gonna grab that. I am just gonna grab that. Take less damage, or potentially deny some draw. Farewell's okay, but does not catch enchantments in this case, unless I want to give them back a Bankbuster, which all in all is probably not the worst thing to do. I'm gonna have to ditch that, and most likely this as well, to hit the big score into Farewell. Here's the Gold Hound, card that has seen basically no standard play. One of my first times actually seeing the card in standard. And the good thing overall about this Atraxa deck, I feel like it still fits like the fundamental controlling game plan that control decks want to be playing, or controlling decks want to be playing, and it just has Atraxa as a top end, so um, it's not really that vulnerable to like super aggressive strategies, because at the end of the day, you're still playing a controlling deck, so it's pretty good against like tier 3 decks or low tier 2 decks as well. So actually it's just straight up good against everything. That's the good thing about this deck. That you won't be losing to like really wild stuff because you have like the toolbox of, you know, Farewell, you got White Sun's Twilight to gain some life, you got Wandering Emperor, you got Drag. You just have a lot of things, a lot of good things that can work for you. I gotta deal with that, so I'm gonna discard this, and I'm probably gonna keep the drag, discard the big score most likely, because I won't be able to. Yeah, I won't have time to cast that. That's gotta go. And we're trying to find lands to hit the Farewell naturally, I think, in this situation. So let's start off with this, force a block, because otherwise they would not block. And I want them to block. And then we use this light up for 1. Just hit that. It will deal 2, since it's +1 if you hit a creature planeswalker. So +1 from the initial cost. If you hit face though, it's just the amount you paid for X. There goes Fateful Absence. I don't know if I'm going to be looking to Farewell here or Drag, but we'll see. Stable, activate, double token. That's what they did last time, sure. I think I might Farewell here. Especially if they commit something else. I'll definitely look to Farewell. I might have to mute myself for a bit, we'll see. Okay, nothing else, but still, I do think this is a good turn to Farewell. I don't really care about this Fable because I can just minus on it. Yeah, let's go. Let's go exile the graveyard. Yes, okay. So, artifacts, creatures, graveyards. We'll leave the enchantments up. It just leaves them with 1 Fable, which is not that big of a deal. It does have a shield counter on it, but we don't really care. Yes, okay. I just want to get rid of the ramp, get rid of the rabbit battery. And we have some more draw / discard. That's good. Oh, it loses the shield counter. Okay. I kind of forgot that it transforms. That makes sense. that makes sense. Yeah, obviously I can't really just drag here, so I guess we're just gonna go for this. Get a strangle, which I will, I guess, cast just in case. I don't know. Now we just have to hit Atraxa or I guess another Fable. Something to draw. There's Loran. Okay. Oh yeah, I can see the Loran coming thanks to Untapped. Untapped shows you your draw like slightly before the game registers that it's... Well, no. The game registers that you're drawing Loran before it shows you the animation, so Untapped's able to show you that. So since I have the deck tracker activated, it looks like I saw that before it was drawn, but... Yeah, when you click... And basically, you technically draw a card exactly when your opponent presses the end turn button, like when they just have nothing else to play. So let's say Wedding Announcement was their last play. It goes straight to end step and it immediately registers that is it being my turn. It's just going through the animations. First time I saw that, I was like, what the... It's actually a pretty interesting thing that the animations show slower than the game actually registers. Well, I guess we're not doing much here. Unfortunate, but they're also not doing that much, and they're playing ossification, which is something I can deal with eventually. Not that I would necessarily want to, but oh, okay, that's scary. That's one of the cards that they have in this matchup that is very good, and can definitely beat me. Yeah, I'm taking a lot of damage, so I need dodge haste here, or I need white sun or something. Oh, we might be dead. Being at 3 is not very safe, but we'll see. Sword of Forge and Frontier. Okay, that's good news. Can still play Atraxa by cycling, so nope. And that's okay. Unfortunately, I'm not finding the cards I need. I need another big score. I need a Fable. Stuff like that. But I guess they're also not doing much, so... This instant speed interaction is useful. That is not a very good draw. Probably one of my worst. I don't really need sweepers here. I need instant speed interaction to play around some haste. There's Wandering Emperor. Okay, that sucks.
Run away. You'll be safer. Keep watch
Well,
for
gonna have to interact with that. I guess I lose this game, honestly. That's kind of unfortunate. Didn't expect to lose with all the Triumph cycling, all the looting I have in my deck, the Atraxa that could have been drawn. Protection from red and green. Okay. I could have taken the ossification, destroyed this, and then blocked, actually. I did not realize. Okay, never mind. I completely forget it. Sometimes I just forget about ossification. I just realized as I was targeting it. It was a little bit late. But honestly, whatever.
Let your blade
That would have been a much better play. But honestly, this kills me either way. Like, the... what am I going to say? Okay, give me a sec. I want to activate Mirax, I guess. There's no need to attack, they're just gonna block anyways. Yeah, I mean, this sword, when I'm at 3, I don't think matters when they have a Wandering Emperor, but we'll see. Like, protection doesn't really do much. I guess it will against... yeah, actually it will against Loran, because Loran is actually green. Okay, so that was a mistake. Mad. Okay. I mean, honestly, I just lose. I can't win this game anyways. Like, even if I do that, double planeswalker, they're just grinding me out. Unfortunately.
your eyes sharp. Show them how
No, it's just no, there's no reason to do that. There's a Atraxa, but yeah, since I didn't destroy the sword, I guess. Well, actually, I would still lose the game because they have okay. I guess we're not dead. Do I need the mana? Not really. Just take this then. Alright, interesting. So I have removal for this. But they have Eternal... yeah, if they didn't have Eternal Wanderer, it would have been a different story. But since they do... I do have pretty good cards in my hand, though. Problem is I have to use... the auto tapper left up the lounge, which was my mistake. I should have manually tapped, but I was hoping it wouldn't do that. I guess it kind of makes sense. Well, no, I should have left this up, right? Because I only had black in hand. Okay.
Keep watch for intruders.
All right. Well, now I have to dodge any other creature or any haste, I guess. Yeah, if they hit a haste, I lose. That's not a haste. Interesting. I mean, and there's no reason for me to not just grab the... Yeah. Yeah, I kind of have to grab here. That's unfortunate. Oh, there's another one. But at this point, I have to sweep. And then I guess I just... Laron? Play this out. Well, unfortunately, I should have taken the untap land then. I didn't realize I needed the mana. I don't know. I'm not playing this very well, but I think this always happens when I'm recording because I'm not quite, like, fully focused yet. But I'm trying my best here. But at least I'm pointing out, like, what plays were wrong. So, you know,
Thank you for your
at least you know what the correct play was.
See you later. We must protect the people.
It was mostly just taking the ossification, and then that's about it. Wait, what? That's good. It gave me the Planeswalker. I'm still very close to dying here, though. They have a kill spell. Did I need another one? Was I gonna block here? They top decked another kill spell. That would definitely be unfortunate. Okay. Oh man. This is unfortunate. There's no untapped red that doesn't hurt me. So I probably should not play it. Just play a tap land, right? I guess I take that. Yeah, I grab the white sun instead. Sure. So I win next turn, but can I get to next turn? I don't know. Don't think so. Actually, they need two top decks. They need this top deck to be a removal spell, and then the next one also has to be a removal spell. That's not a removal spell. So this, well, I mean, yeah, that's not a removal spell. So, but this also counts as potentially generating lethal. Okay, that's not correct. They have to minus there.
Strike
Because if they find removal, then they'll have 3 attackers guaranteed lethal. Okay. Alright. We managed to stabilize that despite my mistake. I think that was the... Was that the only mistake? I don't remember, but there might have been another one too. Oh yeah, to grabbing the land. Yeah, that was a mistake. Land was a mistake. Okay, this trades, but I mean... Actually, no, it doesn't trade. What the hell am I talking about? Bam, bam. That does not have trample. At least I don't think it does. Atraxa, the game has been successfully unified. That was a long one. That was a long one. But a decent showcase of what this deck can do, I would say. Okay, well, we're on the play, that's good. And we have... alright, hand. Needs a little bit of work, but we have red, which is probably the most important color for, you know, fixing my hand. We also have a bunch of triumphs to cycle through. Got a binding. Got a sweeper. We just have a bunch of removal, so as long as we like continue hitting our land drops, I feel like it's okay. Double white already in play, so I think we can safely cycle this Triome. This looks like a mirror match. Or no, it's just Mardu. Okay, that's fine. Just Mardu. And this should be a very good matchup, because they don't have counter magic. I don't know if I want to grab this necessarily, but it does shut off most of their potential pop-off. So I guess I just do it. That's the problem with Fable. It's like the Goblin token is actually most of the power early game. So if you let them start treasuring, that's pretty rough usually. Okay, and this is why Fable's so broken, right? It's because it's a card that comes down, requires an answer, and then you can also get rid of your bad cards in the matchup. It's pretty impressive. It's definitely an impressive card. Something that has pretty much been a staple in Standard, right? But hopefully, I was hoping they would ditch like a sweeper or something, but no, that was not the case. So a lot of pain lands. Ooh, okay, we're going somewhere. All I can say about that one. We're going places. And I like where we're going. Yeah, that's fine. Honestly, as long as I hit the Atraxa, I think we're pretty chill. Okay, I might just sweep this board then instead of Atraxa. This is a little bit dangerous, especially if they have a kill spell for this. They would be able to get through for too much damage, I would say. So I think we're going for the White Sun. Because this sweeper can be used after Atraxa and it would not kill it. It would be -6, I think. Yes, it would be -6. We went for the plus, which is smart. Now they lose their entire board. I get a bunch of might. I get to attack Wandering Emperor and kill it. So this has swept the board and will kill a Planeswalker and maybe leave me with extra tokens left behind after they block. Alright, that's 2 blockers. They need one... No, even with one more, they lose the Wandering Emperor. Okay, they still lose the Wandering Emperor. So that was kind of pointless, I would say. Maybe better to save that for... a discard off of Fable, instead of just wasting it on a Might. Unless I would have saved the Wandering Emperor, which it didn't, so... Yeah, Mardu cannot really beat Atraxa, unfortunately. This is not a good matchup for them. I don't think I need the Fable, so... I'm so happy I have that one of Laurent, because having an extra chance to hit a creature, I think is really relevant in this matchup. I don't really need to cast that. So they have to kill this. And also they used their cut down in a way that was very mana inefficient. So for example, if they had a 2 mana, like let's say go for the throat, then they would rather go for the throat for the 2 mana on my Atraxa and then cut down the next turn, because it didn't say Wandering Emperor, right? So the cut down was a little bit unnecessary. All right, I'm kind of happy to be facing Mardu because this matchup is very favored. And unfortunately, I think Atraxa might be the death of Mardu, even though I love Mardu so much. Like I love the deck. I love the colors. I mean, I'm literally playing Mardu with Atraxa. That's how much I love it. But the traditional version of Mardu just simply cannot compete. Like I'm basically playing the same deck except I have Atraxa. So there's really no way to work your way around that in a way that makes sense. Oh, also I was thinking we might need to add something like Burn Down to this deck just to be able to deal with Planeswalkers. I've been considering that, and I do think that definitely deserves a slot, maybe instead of Cruelty. I don't think this card is very necessary. Yeah, I don't think it's very necessary, so something to think about for sure. Counter magic in this matchup, not very relevant. Cruelty of Gix is a card that usually does good things in this matchup as well. But I don't know if I necessarily have room for it. Also, Wandering Emperor, not the best spell in this matchup. Blade Coil Serpent is pretty good. But I don't know if it's actually good enough to see play on the draw. Yeah, this looks like a more aggressive version, don't think cruelty is necessary. It feels like just whatever. I'd rather have like, yeah, I'd rather have duress and then maybe I cut one Wandering Emperor. I can see that as just being kind of unnecessary. In fact, it might just be worse than negate. I don't know. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, I really feel like either Brotherhood's End or Burn Down has to come in into the 75 just because of Planeswalkers. There are too many good Planeswalkers right now, and that's definitely a scary thing. I will keep this. I don't think it's a very good hand. I think on average you would want to mulligan this, but since I have the big score, that's giving me hope that if I do manage to find land, which this deck has 28 of, it'll be fine. And drawing duress is not terrible, but I still need land. So yeah, hopefully I find land. And we also found Atraxa. Okay, this is not the deck I thought I was facing. Okay, so this is actually just pure Mardu aggro. Okay, with angels. So this is my old version essentially. That makes sense. That does make sense. It's my old version. Oh, duress is really brutal. That was a very good top deck. If they don't find that, I think they lose the game on the spot. But honestly, I'm still in a good spot. Like I have two different removal spells anyways. They have no mana. They have no fable. They have no wedding announcement. Okay, that's an interesting play. I would personally not take that, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is relevant enough. Like they're kind of in a spot where they need to force me to lose the game before I just hit natural lands anyways, I think. They're in a spot where they have to gamble on me not finding lands essentially. That's how bad their situation is. So probably take up the light up just to give you the extra mana to at least cast this. Well, yeah, actually they had no choice. They don't even have red. They don't even have white. I mean, they needed the white from Giada. So, but I guess I'm kind of not in a great spot either, to be fair. 'Cause I also need land, but I have removal, so. Oh, whoops, my bad. Kind of late on the reaction on that one. I just like kind of zoned out. Happens. I don't know. I don't think this is relevant, but I guess. Oh, oh, it is. Okay. Oh, so it was relevant. Okay, I was like, yeah, they probably have a non-creature, but it could have been a creature. It was either a non-creature or a creature. All right, I need a black source, or I mean, I need any land at this point. Giving them the 1/1 was definitely a problem. Actually, could be. No, it's actually not. All right. There goes one. Ooh. The Fable can do things to me that I don't want it to do. Sacrifices a creature token. I don't want to give them the mana. We're 2 lands off of winning with either this or this. I still have another sweeper for when this pops. I don't want to give them tokens for the right as well. So I don't want to give them mana and I don't want to give them a token. That's okay. That is very good. That'll be a good surprise. The classic hello White Sun's Twilight suddenly appears. All right. Here we go. Ooh, even better. Creatures, enchantments, graveyards. Damn. Le farewell and goodbye. Yep. Mardu against Atraxa. It's a tough one. Tough one. All right. All right, so that's gonna do it. I don't think I have. I think playing another match with this deck would take way too long. But at least I got to showcase a little bit. I wanted to show off the Serpent a little bit more because this card was a late addition to the deck. So the latest additions, I mean, I'm sure I went over it in the intro because I'm going to record the intro after. It's kind of weird, but um, yeah, essentially this card is really good in like a plethora of different matchups. It has really, actually, I just realized I have a farmland. That's an oversight. Because there was the Bant Triome in this deck beforehand for the Serpent. I mean, it wasn't for the Serpent. It was just for mana purposes. And then I realized like the Bant mana can only draw me cards, but then I replaced it with the farmland that because I needed the white, I guess. So I gotta find a way. I'm sure I'll figure it out. I'll probably put the updated list in the. It'll be in the intro anyways. Actually, it doesn't really matter. I'll just update it. It'll be in the untapped. I have to play a match with it again. Probably play a match later for it to update in the untapped. So yeah, just take this list and I'll figure it out and just keep an eye on the untapped if you want the updated list. Yeah, I don't have much to say about it. I think all the changes I made, other than maybe having too many strangles, that's the last thing I'm kind of questioning, and also the cruelty. So I think there are two things. One, strangle, and the one strangle can probably go, and two, cruelty. One of these probably just has to be burn down or brother's end. But yeah, that's really about all I have to say with this deck. I hope you all are enjoying it as well if you're gonna play it. I'm sure you'll have fun playing it. If you're the type of person when you see this and you're like, yeah, I want to play that, you're gonna have fun. Like the deck just works. It works. There's good enough mana in standard and good enough cards to support Atraxa that it just works. So yeah, this is fantastic, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one. If you enjoy my content and would like to see me keep making it, consider joining my Patreon, where you will gain access to a bunch of bonus videos, other types of content, and of course, depending on the tier, other services as well. Thank you so much to all the lovely patrons that have already subscribed. I appreciate you all very much. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.